Hello everybody, this is TV Official 1. Hello, and this is TV Hub Official 1, and now back with another podcast for you guys, the Hub podcast, as I like to call them. This is episode 5, and I'm going to be doing it here on Wednesday, so it might be up on Thursday. I think the internet's off, so I'm not going to be doing it probably today, but it will be up on surely by the closing date of Friday. So I thought about doing this as I really haven't done much other videos this week. I think the only other one I've done this week since Thursday after that was NXT review, which I got up really late. I'm sorry about that, guys. But at least you can still watch it. And hope you enjoy that one. I've been enjoying listening to my own podcast, in my opinion. I think there's been some great ones out there, such as I just started listening to Straight Shoot again. I got recommended this on comment. It said, listen to Aubrey Sitterson, great guy. I've heard about him. He's kind of related to the WWE games. I mean, he's done interviews and stuff with them, and he's a great guy. He doesn't get the respect he should deserve. He only has like 6,000 subscribers, so I definitely recommend subscribe to Aubrey Sitterson. Probably leave a link below. Aubrey Sitterson, his channel is called Straight Shoot. He has a new channel now, and he basically does videos on Raws and classic, like retro reviews, which I haven't really listened to, but his Raw reviews are very good, I know. And he has guests on every single week, like 2 or 3 guests, like either wrestlers from like indie sort of circuits or people who write and stuff. And I was listening to the Raw this week, and I still haven't finished it yet, but the guys he has on are very good opinionated people, and he does offer a kind of balance between not being too biased in anything really, and Aubrey Sitterson, but he does have some opinions that he wants to get out there. But you know, he wants to make it as fair as possible for the guests, and it all works out pretty well. I like to hear his opinion. He's a great voice to share, and you can hear that he's been a great fan of the WWE for years. So go check him out, Straight Shoot or Aubrey Sitterson online, and you'll find it on YouTube. You can listen to his podcast. He's going to listen to them on iTunes or any other sort of podcasting app you can get, or website. So, I mean, you can listen to them on the go if you want to, and that's a great idea. But yeah, so anyway, you can try to listen to this guy. I definitely go recommend at least listen to one of his videos. They're very long. They're like 90 minutes long, so they're sort of like a length of quite a big podcast. And if you have the time, or if you're in the car somewhere or stuck and you've downloaded one of his episodes, it would be a good idea to listen to him. And even if you haven't watched Raw or anything, it's actually a good way to sort of get informed from different opinions from different guests that are on the show, and from Aubrey Sitterson himself. He's definitely trying to advertise stuff so that he can keep getting the money to work this podcast, and so he can keep it going. So I definitely think that if we want this podcast to keep going, go watch it, and maybe even support the show if you become a fan of it. I know I haven't really done that before, but I mean, that'd be a good thing to do. I'm definitely not asking you to pay me money or anything. I don't put ads on my videos or anything like that. I don't monetize. I don't make any money from this, but I still do these podcasts, and hopefully people will come and enjoy these that I'm doing myself, and maybe even recommend it on the other YouTubers out there. Hopefully that's one of my goals, is to put at least one link in each video on just YouTubers that I found out, or YouTubers that I enjoy, to do with the sort of stuff I'm interested in, and sort of stuff that you may be interested in from watching my videos. I know for a fact that there's a few people who are good wrestling fans who watch my videos, and yeah, so they might be interested in stuff that I'll be watching, or vice versa. They could tell me, oh, in the comments or on my channel, like, go watch this or something like that. Just a way to get interacted with people out there. And I love when you guys comment, and that's another good thing to do below. So get typing below on your opinions on anything I say in this episode, or anything in any other episodes, or just recommendations or anything. I think I'm going to do a Q&A either this week or next week, just on stuff that I want to talk about, and it'll be sort of separate to my podcast. Hopefully I'll get a few views in there. Also, one more notice first. Actually, yeah. So, Straight Shoot is a good one to check out. Another good one is podcast would be Rooster Teeth podcast. I checked this out pretty recent, a few months ago, maybe late 2014. Rooster Teeth. I mean, I've heard about it for a while. It's been this big gaming sort of gaming network thing, and it's got a lot of people involved, as they do other stuff as well, sort of like Machinima, or they do like I don't know, stuff that College Humor does, like a lot of different high quality skits, which I haven't really seen much of. I started watching one of their videos, and they're quite good high quality high profile actors. Well, not high profile, just very good acting involved in those skits. But mainly what I listen to is the Rooster Teeth podcast, which they do on a pretty regular basis. I sort of got inspired by that to do this podcast that I'm doing now. I mean, probably won't be as long. They usually do 90-minute ones as well as what Straight Shoot would do, an hour to 90 minutes, and they're just filled with random talk that the 5 or 4 guests have on the show. So it's actually got a quite special advantage of they all sort of know each other from working on Rooster Teeth, and they share their opinions on everyday things, basically anything you can think of, sort of geeky stuff from their gaming, that they all sort of involved in gaming in a way, what stuff they do in the channel, their everyday lives, just anything you can imagine. They probably will talk about it in at least one of their episodes, so go check out. They have over 300 of these, so there's a lot to check out over the past couple of years, and I was pretty amazed to see all them. They do a few every week, so you're definitely not going to run out of information or podcasts to listen to. You can download them all on podcasting websites, especially iTunes and stuff like that. Anything that's really free to listen to, you can free, and just like all the other podcasts I like to listen to, they're all free, so it's great to do that. Yeah, if you want to listen to them, I can't really say anything else other than that you're sure to at least like one person who's podcasting on it. So there's a lot of different personalities, and they all have good fun, and they're really, really funny. I can tell you that I've laughed out loud a few times on occasions just listening to these, and they're quite inappropriate. Not too inappropriate, but they do have a good bit of funny humour, inappropriate humour, stuff like that, and they're not afraid to talk about anything really, and that's great to hear. You can check out Rooster Teeth online as well on YouTube. They have a good channel, and they probably have lots of more videos of gaming walkthroughs and stuff like that you can check out as well. So that's a good one to do. And one more notice that I was going to talk about a sec was that I just had reached 1,000 video views a couple of days ago. I'd say it was my New Year's Day I received 1,000 views, which is a nice little present on New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. And I'd still been working on this a while, and I finally got into it. So 1,000 views is, I think it's a bit of a milestone. Not really, but I think it's a bit of a milestone to see that people are actually watching these videos. And I finally made it to 1,000 videos, thanks to a couple of my videos which have achieved up to 100 views. I think my Finn Balor video, review and reaction, got about 170 views, but no bragging in that because it's only 170 views. I mean, it's not much of a milestone. 1,000 video views in total. I'd say when I get 10,000 video views, it'll be pretty special. Or 5,000, I think I might get a video about that when I get to that. I definitely want to now because I've actually reached 1,100 and something video views right now, so I'm pretty growing up with a lot of my videos are getting more views and more views. I've noticed that such videos I do in wrestling probably will get more views. NXT reviews and just other reviews of wrestling things get quite a bit of views that a lot of other people haven't really done. And these podcasts don't get much views, so I definitely go advise to check out these podcasts and see what you think of them. And if you don't really enjoy them, it's fine, but I think I keep doing these podcasts on a weekly, regular basis. Hopefully I'll keep these up weekly, and we might make it to 50 podcasts. I'll do a special 50th podcast if I actually make it to that. But anyway, this is number 5 podcast, so we've got a long way to go. Anyway, yeah, so 1,100 views I think is my sort of current I'll just go check it out right here on YouTube. My current my current view count is 1,198 views, and my WNXT review I think has 2 views so far, which I've posted 7 hours ago. Such other things would be, I shouldn't post it 7 hours ago. Posted like 20 something hours ago. Anyway, oh yeah, I posted it just today. So that's why I'm really surprised. My WWE 2014 A Year in Review Part 1 got 71 views, so WWE 2014 A Year in Review, go check that out, and Part 2 will be out probably on Saturday or Sunday, probably on Saturday. I'll get around to do it on Saturday, and it'll be posted or on Friday or Saturday or Sunday, any of those 3 days. So that one's like a 52-minute long video. I've pretty much gone through that one from January all the way up to September or July. And I've talked about pay-per-view events and just other events that have been quite shocking, and I think a lot of you have heard about these stuff before. I still go a bit more, just not really into too much depth, but I definitely like to talk about them greatly. yeah, so I don't really want to talk too much about my videos. I mean, I like to talk about other people as well, but it's kind of exciting to see these ones. My dramatic readings have not been doing too well. I think I might do another dramatic reading today on chapter 7 of the Machine Gunners. I mean, I haven't really been enjoying those too much because I haven't really putting an opinion to that one. Oh, my Prince Devitt documentary reaction review is getting 440 views. So that's equivalent a lot of my total views, 440. My Prince Devitt one, and I'm pretty sure that's because the fact that I actually don't think anyone else has really done any reviews on this. So every time you search this, it comes up with this. So it's definitely probably looking to be one of my most popular videos. It's actually my most viewed video by a long shot. I mean, it started off with 100 views, and now it's made it up to 440 views. So I'm actually pretty proud of that video myself. I think my current video count is, I have 10 subscribers and I have 49 videos. This will be my 50th video, so happy 50th video, guys. This will be my 50th video, so kind of milestone there in terms of how many videos I've done. Once I get 100 videos, as I said again with the other podcast thing, I probably do a celebration for that as well. 50 videos, I think that's pretty good. Thank you guys for watching so much and supporting me on this way, especially on the videos where I've got a lot of views, or anybody who's commented. I think I'm just going to point out those people who have commented on the video. Yeah, I'll probably leave their links down below and give them a shout out because they're the people who've been quite supportive for me, and those people are the two people, CM Punk Mark 1994. I'll leave a link for that below, and also Attitude or a Nation. Those two guys, I think they make videos of their own. They're pretty interesting, and so definitely go check out their channels. Go subscribe to them quickly. I think they both subscribe to me. So definitely they're two good supporters of me, so I'm thankfully happy that they're there. Yeah, I'll leave the links for them below, along with other channels that I like to hear, like mainly podcasts. The one is Ear Biscuits, which I actually duly enjoy, and Popcorn Talk, which is another great one of mine, which is sort of Popcorn Talk. How would I describe it? It's a mix between talking about movies and all that sort of stuff. They sort of merged with another channel lately that I've been listening to, Anatomy of a Movie, and so all this stuff together, it's just two different companies sort of put together, and there's lots of stuff involved with it, and it's great entertainment. There's one show, Profiles, which is actually really good, starring two people who I like. They have very valid opinions. They talk about like a director or a writer each week, or an actor, such as one week was Christopher Nolan. They had Leonardo DiCaprio, and this week was Tim Burton, the newest video. So I was listening to that one, and it's really, really good. Yeah, so, and they sort of go through the careers of these different movie reviewers. That's only one part of Popcorn Talk, so even if you're not interested in that, there'll be other stuff that you may be interested in. So definitely go check those guys out as well. I would like to, yeah, that's sort of most of my channel talk I was going to talk about. But now I'm going to get into my next topic maybe in a second. Do I have anything else really to point out? Oh yeah, subscribe, guys, if you haven't already. Like this video, share it around, favorite it, help old buddy out here, and I will probably subscribe. I will definitely subscribe back to your channel. If any of you subscribe, I'll see it in the subscriber box. So make sure you do that. I'll probably be talking about these in my next few videos. Oh yeah, sorry, also Lucian Grancia. I don't think I've subscribed. Yeah, I have subscribed to you. So you see, I've subscribed to anyone that subscribed to me. Thank you, Lucian Grancia, on subscribing to me 2 weeks ago. Thank you very much. Duly appreciated. Thank you very much. So, yeah, so even though if you don't really want me to subscribe to you or anything, I'll just do it anyway and give you a shout out if you want to. And I don't know, anything else you want me to do, just talk about it and discuss it. That's the most important thing to do, discussing. That's all I'm really about here on YouTube, is the interaction and just sharing my opinion with you guys and seeing if you get a response on any of my videos. So enough of me just ranting on about that. Actually, discussing other videos I might be posting on my channel soon. I know that I was going to talk about my own life, and also WWE in a sec, and movies. There'll probably be 3 topics I'm going to be featuring heavily in this video. But first off, Other videos I might be posting later on my channel with dramatic readings. I might finish those off in the next week or so, next few weeks, of The Machine Gunners, a book that's been pretty interesting so far. It's got an interesting writing style, and it's won a few awards, so that one definitely check out. Obviously the weekly NST reviews, the weekly hub or regular hub podcast, Doctor Who reviews. I actually got 3 box sets already of series 2, 3 and 4, so I'll be watching those. I'm probably doing reviews on those 3 series, or whichever ones I get. I would say I did my Doctor Who movie 1996 review, so I'll probably be doing 2 other revisitation discs reviews. Any of the classics I get, I might do them as well. They'll probably not be too often, but there'll be a special little treat you can watch and listen to. Doctor Who series overview. Didn't do too well. I got 1 view. I'll do like previews of Doctor Who upcoming episodes. Maybe there could be a thing coming up. My Malcolm Little reviews. I think my latest one I got 2 was episode 11. I think I thought I put up episode 12, but I guess I just put up episode 11 of my latest review 3 weeks ago. So that was sort of before the Christmas break. I think there's another 3 or 4 or 5 videos to go in that series 1, and I'll be taking a break from that. I'm actually watching Netflix lately, as I featured in my 3rd podcast, and I definitely have been watching a lot of that good stuff, such as Lost mainly. What else are we watching? A few good movies, documentaries, and that's mainly what I've been watching once I get the chance over the Christmas holidays. I did enjoy a bit of Netflix, and it's been very good, especially on the American version, which I've been hacking into. Sorry guys. Yeah. Anything else you want me to put? So I would probably be doing those reactions and reviews of of those pay-per-views but I'll be doing one for Royal Rumble, because since that's such an exciting pay-per-view to do, I'll be putting that one up say the weekend before the Royal Rumble, once I get all the information coming in about the predictions, and once all the Raws are up and stuff like that, I get all the story in. I can definitely look forward to my predictions for the match and the pay-per-view and all. And then I might be doing a review of that after that it comes out. It could be my podcast coming up maybe, but I think I'm going to keep that separate for another review so it gets more views. But in this one I might be talking about just other WWE stuff that's been going on lately, as I sort of update on that. Movies, TV shows, and what else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, London. I talked about that in my previous one, that I was going to go over to London on my Christmas holidays and sort of the meaning of everything. And in this one, I actually went to London on New Year's Day, which is the 1st of January. Came back on the 5th of January, or 4th of January. So I only went for 4 days. It was a quick trip, but I got a few things there, and my family all enjoyed it pretty well. I did myself, discovered some new places, locations, and definitely excited about talking about it to you guys. So it was a great time. It was great crack and great entertainment with and there's some colourful characters there as well, so talk about that. So we went over to London around early New Year's Day, 1st of January. What else, sorry, I guess we went to Dublin airport, then went over to London on a flight pretty early on. Got into Gatwick airport, went to a Gatwick Express. We got straight over to Victoria Station, train station in central London. Got a tube over to Russell Square where our apartment was. Got in there, bang, done. My other two brothers and my mum went over to a West Ham match. It was pretty close over. Me and Dad, we went around the place, looked around, and we did stuff like that. And over the next few days, we went into town, we looked around the shops, the main streets, Oxford Circus, all the main shops and stuff like that, likes of Harrods, everything around that. Ate some food, enjoyed ourselves, and basically had a bit of relaxing time as well in the really nice apartment that was furnished out pretty well. It had a nice couch on it, a few couches, actually had 3 couches, a table, a few different rooms, and it had 4 beds, singular beds, and they were really comfortable. 6 beds. A 6-bed, and it was not really, really nice and really warm, and it was really nice actually.
So that was a great trip. Someone actually, an old woman, I think I hit off her and saw my leg, and she was Brit, and she said idiots, and then just walked away. It was really, really awkward and funny, and we just stared for about 5 seconds before I fully comprehended what just happened, because that has never happened to me before. I guess I was just talking to my dad and my two brothers, and I was just engrossed in that. And then I looked over, and she was just hobbling away. I think she was fine. I didn't get to talk to her, man. She just got away, and someone was like, "Are you alright?" I felt so bad. So sorry, old woman out there, but you're really kind of rude to say that to me. But sorry if I hit you or anything. I didn't think I hit you. I just hit your trolley or something, or thing you were carrying. So yeah, that's a personal message to you. A personal message to anyone: just don't be rude to old women, because they'll fight back, especially if they're British. That's racist, isn't it? Yeah, that's racist. Okay, forgot what I just said there. But they do like to give out. In all fairness, please just agree with me there. If I'm wrong, comment below. If I'm wrong and I'm racist, I'm sorry about that, but you're commenting below, so well done. And please don't subscribe if you're already subscribed. But just subscribe, please, guys. So yeah, it was a great experience. I've already talked about that. I picked up a lovely Breaking Bad Heisenberg t-shirt, which is a nice white colour, and then a black colour with a white decal was the Doctor Who, Matt Smith and David Tennant sort of Day of the Doctor t-shirt, which is actually really cool as well. So they sort of complement each other. They sort of have different colours to each other, completely opposite, and that's why I sort of picked them, the black with the white and the white with the black. And yeah, they were pretty cool. I still have those guys. Hopefully I haven't lost them. I'll probably be wearing them, in the future. So they're really nice. I also got Doctor Who Series 2. I actually went to the BBC Broadcasting House, which is a really cool place where they do the news, and there's a big news centre with computers. You can look at the window and look down. There's security you have to get through, but that's alright. It's a really nice big building, glass on it, and the logo. And then over to one side, there's like one show. You go in an entrance, there's sort of a little lobby area, and it's really small, and there's not much there, but there's a tour you can do. Obviously, I was going to do that. Like, probably be a waste of money. Me and Dad went for like, at least, at the most, about 15 minutes. Wasn't much to see, but we did see the shop. I did buy WWE box set season 2. Sorry, Doctor Who box set season 2 DVD. I'm gonna completely mess that up, but yeah, I did buy that, which was quite cool. Now I have all the David Tennant full seasons. I still have to get the specials from him, but that's all I have to really get, and I'm pretty much complete with his collection. Then I might move on to get like Series 5, and then like revisitations, and then Season 1, and hope to add those to my collection. Next, I also going to a few museums, the likes of V&A Victoria and Albert, which had a really cool exhibition, which was the I forget what it was called, something to do with objects, rebellion to objects, or I don't know. But anyway, it had some pretty cool artifacts and some interesting stories behind them, some pretty deep stories, and about like every single protest that it's ever happened. And there was a cool like thing that showed a map, and then every year it showed like dots of where all the protests took place, or the whatever you call them, in each month, and there's dots all over the place. It sort of reached a high in 2011, and yeah, people have been using this as people power for the past like 100 years, but it's sort of just taken over the past like 10 years, and there's been a lot of it going on, even all around the world, like especially US and stuff like that, in Europe and Middle East. So it's been a pretty inspiring place to see. I went to the Natural History Museum, which featured lots of dinosaur bones. I didn't go to the dinosaur exhibition really, but it was a gigantic line for that. I don't really. I guess there was moving dinosaurs and stuff like that. I mean, it wasn't too great, but just some pretty cool like artifacts, which I definitely would revisit it if I get the chance to. It had a only piece of space rock in the whole of UK, moon rock bought from Apollo, and it was a little piece just there in a box container. I don't know if it was a real thing or anything, but it was really cool to see. Piece of history, definitely, and like a dodo bird fossil, some other pretty cool stuff as well. Some exhibitions in there that I think if you had another chance to go, you probably would check them out a bit more in detail. I was there for about 2 hours, an hour and a half. It was sort of the day I was going. Yeah, and it was pretty enjoyable. Another museum I went to was British Museum. It was really close to where I was in my apartment, so it was very convenient. I went there once. I would have gone there a few more times because it's gigantic and there's a lot of stuff there. It's one of the best museums in the whole of London, if not the best. It just has been. And what else did I go to? Yeah, V&A, and there are the 3 museums I sort of went to. I went to the Cartoon Museum, which is a little small building. It was alright. There wasn't that much there, but again, it was a payable one, but it was the only one I had to pay for. But it did have so much cartoons, like comics and stuff, and I didn't really get a chance to comprehend how much detail went into everything. But again, it does show you a lot of Japanese stuff and stuff that you don't usually see. A lot of British, funny, like comic stuff you find in newspapers, and then a lot of little, not as much children's stuff as more, or superhero stuff, but as more like humorous stuff. And there was a load of magazines there to look at, like Beano, and there was some Doctor Who magazines, which was pretty cool to see. Some old, not too old ones though. Yeah, that would be a cool thing to see. And there was some nice old from the 1800s cartoons, and they were really detailed and expressive of the time period that it was in. After I came back from London, I'm doing these videos again. I'm sort of starting them up again, so I'm happy to get back into the rhythm of it, guys. Hopefully you support this podcast by leaving a like, comment, and make sure to subscribe. Most importantly of all, share this video around, favorite, add to your watch later or favorite list on playlist for all my videos or whatever. Go check out my other videos, my playlists of other sort of reviews I've done, and sort of impromptu just self-promotion of myself there, I guess. But it's very important for you guys to get involved in all of this. And that was sort of my London human bit of this. And now I'm going to go over to movies section. And let's talk about the top 10 international box office draws of 2014. Let's see. They're the actors that were the biggest draws. The likes of Jamie Foxx, who was in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, Rio 2, Horrible Bosses 2, Annie, Samuel L. Jackson, he was in RoboCop, as Nick Fury in Captain America: Winter Soldier, which is actually, I've heard is a great movie. I haven't seen it. I might go and see that. Michael Fassbender, he was in 12 Years a Slave. He was in X-Men Days of Future Past as a Magneto. Martin Freeman was placed as the Hobbit in the Battle of Five Armies, which is, I'll talk about that in a minute, what I think of that movie. He was also in Fargo TV show. And Gary Oldman was in RoboCop and Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. So there's a lot of people who've been in a few different movies. And he's also in Paranoia. Scarlett Johansson, number 5. Luke Evans, Mark Wahlberg, Jennifer Lawrence, and Ian McKellen. That's surprising. Well, I guess he was in The Hobbit and X-Men, and I don't know what else he was in that year. But I guess they're 2 of the biggest box office draws of that year in terms of just movies. So it was quite a good year of movies. A lot of the movies that maybe let me down. A lot of sequels this year. Probably a lot more sequels this year as well. It was a good year for superhero type movies. And of course the 3rd installment in the Hunger Games series came out. I didn't actually see that, but I heard it's alright. I mean, it was just a lead up to the next movie, Mockingjay Part 2, so I probably won't see it in cinemas. I might see it once it comes out on like Netflix or something of that. I'm surprised there is a lot of movies you wouldn't expect to make that much, but actually were the biggest draw card of the year. Top 10 movies up to December 21st of 2014. At number 1, can you guess what it is? Being the biggest box office draw of the year. I guess this is according to Ireland. But anyway, or whatever. It is Mrs. Brown's Boys, the movie, with 3,810,045. And number 2 is the Lego Movie. Number 3, The Gone Girl. Number 4, Dawn Planet of the Apes. The Wolf of Wall Street. Number 5, no real surprise there. Number 6 is Guardians of the Galaxy, a good one. I've seen that one. Against Mockingjay Part 1. Number 7, no real surprise, 22 Jump Street, haven't seen it. Number 9, The Inbetweeners 2. And number 10, X-Men Days of Future Past. Surprised The Hobbit didn't make it to that list, but I guess it was still ongoing at the time of this sort of look at. Yeah, so I'm going to go into my Hobbit review right now. So let's talk about The Hobbit, The Battle of Five Armies. Basically the defining chapter in the Hobbit whole series. I watched the other 2 movies in cinema as well, and I watched this in IMAX in London. I didn't actually mention that earlier on, but yeah, I watched this one in London, and it was the sound was amazing. The whole picture quality that zoomed around your face, you'd see every inch of the screen was just completely like quality. Like it was such good. Yeah, it was great graphics. It was swift. It was there was no like bugs or anything on the screen. It all moved nice and well, and it looks great. So it's definitely made for the IMAX. The Hobbit, The Battle of Five Armies. It was released in 2013 or sorry 2014. I watched it in 2015. Just like January. So it was released on the 11th or 12th of December 2014, and Unexpected Journey being the first one back in 2012, and Unexpected Journey, I watched that in cinema. I also watched Desolation of Smog the next year, 2013, in cinema, and now 2015 I watched The Battle of Five Armies. The basically end to this epic fantasy adventure film. If you haven't already seen any of these films or haven't heard of this Hobbit, which I guess if you're living under a rock maybe, it was directed by Peter Jackson and written by Jackson, Fran Walsh, Philippa Boyens and Guillermo del Toro. The final in the 3-part film adaptation. I think I might even do a separate review in this. No, I probably won't do a separate review in this. I just don't need to do focus on movies that much on this channel. It's more about TV shows. I'm sure you've kind of realised that by now. But The Hobbit Battle of Five Armies, I watched this, I sort of mulled over it in my head. Did I think it was great? Did I think it was bad? Did I think it was alright? Mixed? Average? I mean, I've heard a few people thinking that this was not as good as the first one, or maybe not even as good as the second one. Obviously, it's been a while since I've seen it, Unexpected Journey and The Desolation of Smog. I haven't seen that in a bit, so I watched this, and it was a shorter running time, but I still got a little bit bored towards the second act of 3. If it was divided into 3 acts, the first act was quite engrossing. The second act was just not much happening, but I guess there was just this darker sort of building in the background. The third act, we get to see everything happen, and the ending. And the ending was one of the highlights of the film for me. So it begins off with our usual Hobbit beginning, continuing from the last movie. I think we go over to 2 different sort of areas, and I don't really want to spoil anything for this, guys. If you haven't already seen it, you probably might like watch it on DVD or something on Netflix when it gets released. But anyway, we sort of continue from the Desolation of Smaug. It's actually a really cool intro. We mainly go into the families of a guy called Bog or something, this nobleman in a lake town, and then the dragon from the Smaug comes down and destroys this whole little city, and he sort of fires the place down, causes destruction here, and that is an amazing intro, one of the best. It goes on for like 10 or 15 minutes, and then we get to the intro. So we see Bilbo and all the others on the up in the cliffs of Desolation. So as this movie progresses, it delves into 2 like sort of different plot lines. We get introduced back to Legolas, who takes quite a central role defining, and we see the different armies, the 5 different armies. I think there must have been, because it was called Battle of Five Armies. We didn't really see one of them. We saw one big great orc army they were sort of all facing off against in the Desolation Kingdom area, and we saw that big orc army, very impressive one. Then we saw the introduction of the
human army, which were the people introduced at the start, the dragon thing from Lake Town. They all came about, and they had a big army, and they had to defend the castle area. We saw, obviously, the dwarf army, which is made up of a lot of dwarves, people who came along, including the guy that helped out, the little ginger guy. I think he was one of the dwarves, so they had a big army. That was 3. Then the 4th was the elves, the big elves army, who helped out with humans, and the elves were really impressive. Legolas did actually have a very impressive role in this one, played by Orlando Bloom. And they got another orc army as well. I think the orc CGI was pretty good in this movie. It didn't blow me away or anything. I mean, they had a few good shots of like an overview of the army, but not really that much warfare. I think it was more one-on-one action or 2-on-2 or something like that. It didn't really delve into too much warfare. There was some big creatures, which actually did show off pretty well, especially from the orc army, who went into rampage and just destruct the environment. And it's very good to see that, and satisfying to see just things break up on the screen, and it looks great in the IMAX, so it's always a good test to see it working on the IMAX. I think Bilbo Baggins didn't really take much part in the action, but again, he had a sort of darker tone in this movie. As the final movie, it did possess quite a darker tone. I mean, this happens with a lot of trilogies or finals of movies, finales. It goes down a lot shorter. And Bilbo Baggins, played by Martin Freeman, had a very sort of darker, deeper down in his personality role. He didn't say as much in this movie. He was more in the facial expressions, which did show a lot. And so I think he had a great performance in this movie. Maybe not as much as it could have hoped for, like maybe some more of him on the screen. But again, the ring did not come into it too much, which is a little downside to this. We did get to see Sauron in CGI. And, well, Bilbo reacted pretty well to everything that went on. Didn't really use his sword or anything in the warfare, as I said. He was sort of separated from that. He did have a good scene with Gandalf, and Gandalf worked really well with Bilbo in this one. Again, Gandalf actually didn't do anything in this movie, I don't think, if I can remember. No, not really. He took down some people. He talked to the humans and all that, and the humans played off as real asses in this movie. And no offense, the elf leader, what's his name? The really annoying guy with one of the elf leaders from Rivendell. He was just a dick. Well, he was just, I hated him, and I guess we pulled off the character pretty well for everyone to hate him. Who else do we see? Galadriel. We saw the relationship between our ginger girl and one of the dwarves, Kfili or something, and how I won't spoil what happens, but it gets quite emotional. And I mean, I didn't react to that too. I didn't think it was that emotional, but they definitely put a lot of emphasis on that relationship in this movie. So if you like that, you're gonna like it here. I didn't particularly think it was that interesting, but there was a few good death scenes at the end. Not related to that, but I'm not gonna really spoil anything. Hopefully, I have to probably put a little bit of spoiling warning in this video because I kind of spoiled there, but I'm not going to really go into that. Yeah, so pretty good in acting on all sides. I think some of the characters were just a little one-dimensional, such as some of the humans. You kind of hated them as well, so you weren't really too supportive of that army. And it got a little boring during the second act. The third act did pick up, but it didn't have some of the bits were just not that spectacular. Anyway, it was a non-stop roller coaster throughout, but it sort of carried on just being a single siege war movie more than it was really a journey or anything. It was a quick sequence at the end. Bilbo returns home, and the ending. Oh, I actually really enjoyed this ending. I thought it was a great fit and finish to the series. Bilbo was safely home. Kind of funny at the end, a bit of humor in there, as always the Hobbit movies or the Lord of the Rings movies do possess. I mean, again, it didn't really work too well in this movie, since the fact that we were just getting dark sort of throughout the whole movie. But again, a little bit of humor at the end. That was probably the only mention of really that much humor in this whole movie. Bilbo being a little bit of comic relief as well, not taking him too seriously,
but he does have some good dark acting skills. So he gets home, says goodbye to Gandalf, and then we see the older Bilbo a few years later on, well actually a load of years later on, and Gandalf comes back, and that sorts of builds a full circle of Lord of the Rings, because just as the movie ends, the Lord of the Rings begins. I'm pretty sure, and that's a full circle. So it's amazing, really, that they just rounded up Peter Jackson, obviously directing on all these movies. So you can pretty much watch all 6 movies in a row. I think I might do that. That'd be great to see, and it fits the whole thing for you. You think if I could rate all 3 of these movies in a row, like Desolation of Smog, The Unexpected Journey, and the Battle of Five Armies, for me it would go Unexpected Journey is my favourite, and between Desolation of Smog and the Battle of Five Armies, I'm going to say Battle of Five Armies and then Desolation of Smog, my 3rd favourite. So Battle of Five Armies, it's up there, but again, it didn't step up to being as good as The Unexpected Journey. Well, you can't really beat that. It had Gollum in it. So I'm definitely going to rewatch these movies, and then maybe I might change my opinion, might say that later, but I probably won't say, like, change my. And I also watch the Lord of the Rings ones again. I have all 3 movies as I'm looking over here. They're all set up there. I also have Desolation of Smaug, and I'm going to get the other 2. So when they come out, or on Blu-ray or something like that, and then watch them in epic Blu-ray. Yeah, so I watched it in IMAX. I think it was good movie. Well, it was the movie that you wouldn't say was fantastic or amazing or groundbreaking or anything, but for a finale, it fit really well, and I'm gonna give it in my enjoyment factor. I think it was enjoyable, but maybe I wouldn't watch it too much, just for the fact that it kind of rolled on a bit, and you might skip through bits of it to get to the good bits, of course. And yeah, they did sort of focus on some dwarves more than others in this movie. I actually noticed that quite a lot, and some of the characters were just focused on it way more than the others, and it was uneven in bits like that. So this one gets a I don't know what to say about this one. Okay, I'm going to be fair with it. 8 out of 10. 8 out of 10 for The Hobbit, The Battle of Five Armies. There you go, that's my Hobbit review on this one. So I might talk about Hobbit or The Lord of the Rings in future videos, but again, that's sort of all we've got. There may be another J.R.R. Tolkien movie coming out on one of the others, like one of the other books he wrote, but again, that will be for future videos if there's any sort of looks at that. And now I'm going to go into WWE News and WWE Network. Exciting news about it, maybe? Yeah, it is confirmed to come to Ireland and UK. Let's take a look at the news that came out. I'm going over to a random site. Vince reveals some exciting news for Irish wrestlers fans yesterday over on the WWE's YouTube channel. There's actually a YouTube video I didn't watch, but it has been a long time coming, a very long time. But the WWE Network is finally coming to Ireland and the UK, starting on Monday, January 19th. Set your calendars for that if you live in the UK or Ireland. WWE Network will be directly available on web, iOS and Android devices, gaming consoles, smart TVs and digital media players. And as Vince said, it's just coming in time to watch Royal Rumble 2015. So what about the price? WWE Network will be available £9.99 pounds in the UK and €12.99 in Ireland with no commitment. So that's a bit more expensive than the US. €13 where I am. I mean, if I'm going to dish out that every month, probably wouldn't be worth it since Netflix is a bit cheaper than that. So I probably would get it for 1 month and that was it. I think I actually may get this with no commitment. Simply visit the WWE website on January 19th to sign up. That is already the news you get there. January 19th if you live in the UK or Ireland. As I just said there, I'm probably going to get it and then I'm going to do a review on WWE Network or First Look or something like that, just as I see it for a day or something. But I'm actually really excited for that, since it is so soon to come up. Let's see. Today is the 8th, so I think Monday of the week after next, is that when it was coming out? I am assuming. Did it say Monday the 19th? Yeah, Monday. So I probably will get it on Monday, January 19th. Not next week, the week after next. So Monday week, basically. So, thank you guys for so much for listening to that. And now other WWE news that I might want to feature on this video. Let's go in and talk about whatever's been happening on Raw. For the last 2 Raws, I sort of listened in on the news that's been going on lately. A lot of controversy over such stuff that's going on. John Cena is being put a little bit in the backlight of over recent times. I think that since what was the last pay-per-view, TLC, we have been going in a sort of new direction. They've brought back the what was I going to say? They've brought back the Authority. The Authority was brought back. John Cena was put in this position where I don't know what really happened there, but he brought back the Authority anyway. And anyway, it was just crazy. The Authority are back. Stephanie McMahon and Triple H as entertaining as ever. John Cena, I think over just this previous Raw, I was just listening to the podcast on it, as I had said, and I haven't finished it yet, but I will finish it. John Cena being put in a position where he's fired 3 people who were all built up over this Raw. We have Ryback, who got his backstory. Luke Harper. Oh no, sorry, it was Eric Rowan, because Luke Harper is like the Intercontinental Champion or something. Bad News Barrett wins the Intercontinental Championship, and the Intercontinental Championship has been playing hot potato over a few different people over the last couple of months and weeks, and it's been pretty entertaining. A lot of high profile guys getting the Intercontinental Championship. Dolph Ziggler loses it and gets fired. Everyone's sort of going for Dolph Ziggler. He's a hot pick for a push, a big push, and he's sort of getting it right now. If he comes back for Royal Rumble, I'll tell you, he will be one of my 5 picks to win the Royal Rumble. Definitely. I don't think that maybe it will happen. I think Seth Rollins definitely isn't going to win it. He's the Money Bank winner. But I think Dolph Ziggler will have something to do with this championship. Maybe even win back the Intercontinental Championship going into WrestleMania season. So imagine him having a reign up to WrestleMania, having a big Intercontinental Championship match then. It would put so much high profile on that Intercontinental Championship. And how much would it do for the Intercontinental Championship? It would do wonders. If he had some big superstar coming in to face him for the Intercontinental Championship, maybe a big return. Batista could come back and fight for that at WrestleMania. What a good match that would be. Or someone that works well with, someone who you can trust to work well with Dolph Ziggler. Definitely not Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan's going to be a main scene over that. Daniel Bryan obviously coming back for the Royal Rumble, that puts a lot of pressures on the WWE, who have sort of advertised him for the Royal Rumble last week, and it was all built up like this. Oh my god, he's coming back. He made this announcement, but obviously he can't wrestle until then. And so, is he going to lose the heat between then and now? It's like a month or 3 weeks. We have to wait until he gets the Royal Rumble. Well, yeah, 3 weeks. Or 2.5 weeks or something like that. And so Daniel Bryan is being put off, and we need to keep up with the momentum that he has gone into by not being on WWE television. Bring him back, do something with him. Maybe it would have been better if it was just a surprise. I was listening to this podcast. If we just had a surprise, Daniel Bryan gets on the Royal Rumble and wins. Is Daniel Bryan going to... I think the theory for me is that Daniel Bryan is going to go into the Royal Rumble very early on, like Ric Flair did back in 1992. Good Mike Rick just made a video on this. He can come in he can come in like number 3, number 4, and 5. Under 10, he's going to be at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He's probably going to be around those numbers. He's going to come in, that's my theory, and make his way through and last at least till the final 4. So Daniel Bryan is going to be one of these people who I think he could put up a great match and to be in the contendency for that Royal Rumble victory. One of the most exciting Rumbles, I think, in a history of Royal Rumble. Well, remember that triple threat match we're having? We have John Cena, Brock Lesnar, and now Seth Rollins. So Brock Lesnar is coming back to defend his WWE Championship. Makes it a bit more interesting with Seth Rollins involved as Money in the Bank holder. Is he in this match? Yeah, he is. So he's also the Money in the Bank holder, which is pretty interesting. Was Dean Ambrose going to be involved in the Royal Rumble? Of course he probably is. Randy Orton is another one. Could be in there. Yeah, so Dean Ambrose, Randy Orton, and who else did I say? yeah, Dolph Ziggler and Daniel Bryan, they're sort of top guys in the business right now. They're all here. They're all ready for some sort of goodness. And Bad News Barrett is the Intercontinental Championship champion right now. Is he defending at Royal Rumble? I'm not sure. But again, he might be on the Royal Rumble match as well. A lot of people who do 2 times on this pay-per-view and do like maybe a match beforehand and then a match in this and go into the Royal Rumble match because everyone wants to be on this match. It's one of the top picks of the year to be on, if not the top one. You just want to be on this match. And so it's a great honour to be here. And the crowds are usually just amazing for these matches. I'm not sure where it's being held. I think I'll just look this up right now. If it's in Chicago, somewhere like that, Chicago, big city, I think they might do that just to have a good crowd there, because they want to have a good people to cheer when people come out. I'm excited for who are we gonna have as the special entries into the Royal Rumble. They always get a good pop, so it's gonna be in Wells Fargo Center, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Pay-per-view after this will be Fastlane. Fastlane is upcoming professional wrestling pay-per-view event produced by WWE. It'll take place since February 22nd, 2015 at the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. It'll be the first WWE Fastlane event and will replace Elimination Chamber. Good riddance to Elimination Chamber. Never really liked that, indeed. And then obviously it'll be followed by WrestleMania 31. So in between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania 31, we're going to get a new pay-per-view. So it's going to remain pretty hyped up until WrestleMania season. We've got those 3 pay-per-views in the WrestleMania season, and I'm pretty excited for the 3, especially looking forward to the Royal Rumble match, WrestleMania and the main event, and everything goes on along with WrestleMania, and this new pay-per-view, Fastlane. And the tagline for Royal Rumble is 2015 is the final chapter. So we got lots of big names involved, including Bray Wyatt. I forgot to mention him. Bray Wyatt could be in contention. Damien Sandow, is he in this? I think Damien Sandow is a dark horse for this one, along with Luke Harper. And possibly Stardust. You never know. And Rusev, of course. Big Show, and who else? Biggie Langston from the New Day. Or one of the members of the New Day could be in a contention with some sort of high profile moment. Oh, of course, Kofi Kingston. How is he gonna not get out? He's gonna do something this time. I bet you. They always do this every year with Kofi Kingston in the Royal Rumble. There's some way of keeping him from surviving, even being knocked out of the Rumble, playing with the rules of the Rumble, and keeping him off the ground with 2 feet off there. So, yeah, that's gonna be another exciting moment. So there's always bits and moments in the Rumble matches that you sort of enjoy, and are looking forward to each year, as I always do and watch this. So I'll probably make a preview video coming up like next 2 weeks on this Royal Rumble event. So yeah, that's another exciting thing to think about in the future. Sure. So now that's sort of my WWE spew for today. I've gone on. It's about 52 minutes in this video, if you can read below. So I think just to end up this video, keep it under 55 minutes or an hour. Let's go into world news. My segment I have on every single Hub podcast to date. World news. Let's get into it. World news number 1. French magazine Charlie Hebdo to print 1 million copies next week. 1 million copies of the satirical magazine Charlie Hebdo will be printed next week as French media and journalists vow to ensure the title continues and the freedom of the press is maintained. The print run represents a huge boost for the title, as the weekly circulation was believed to be printing around 45,000 prints. The French newspaper Le Monde has quoted Charlie Hebdo's lawyer, Richard Malka, as saying 1 million copies of the next edition of the satirical magazine are due to be released on Wednesday. Le Monde itself has released a joint statement with Radio France and French television in which they offer to help Charlie Hebdo continue. They also urge other media outlets to follow their example and support the magazine. The statement said the 3 groups invite the French media to mobilize and come together to protect the principles of independence and freedom of thought and expression, guarantors of our democracy. The next story. Beware of men who post a lot of selfies. They might be psychopaths. Men who post incessant photos of themselves online have been revealed to show a higher measure of narcissism, understandably, and psychopathy.
Adding to the matter, those vain ones, they are more likely to edit their selfie display and even greater tendency to self-objectify the norm. Although it's no surprise that men who spend a lot of time in front of the camera and behind it editing are more narcissistic, this is the first time it has actually been confirmed in a study. So, yeah, confirmed there that that's true. Man charged with first-degree murder after throwing daughter 5 off bridge. So, a 25-year-old man faces a first-degree murder charge after police said he threw his 5-year-old daughter, this is shocking here, off a bridge in Florida. John Jr. was arrested after a police officer reported seeing him throw his child into Tampa Bay. Rescuers pulled Phoebe John Cook from the water, but she died later, police said. The officer was heading home at around midnight when he saw a speeding car and tried to pull it over. Police say John Cook stopped on a bridge on the approach to the Sunshine Skyway and threw the child off the rail. He returned to his car, drove south, and was arrested about 30 minutes later in Manatee County. He faces additional charges, including aggravated assault with a motor vehicle on a law enforcement officer. The girl's mother said she last saw her daughter on Christmas Eve. Okay, I guess one final story of the day. Sorry about that. Let's get in some shocking stories today. The next 2 weeks are your only opportunity to see the stunning green comet. Amateur astronomers, ready yourselves. A glowing green comet is making its closest approach to Earth in 11,500 years. We also hear stuff about this all the time, but again, providing us with a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity that will not come again for 8,000 years. What a long time. On a clear day, dark night, comet Lovejoy is just about bright enough to be glimpsed in a small smudge of light with the naked eye. Through a small telescope or binoculars, though, it appears as a softly glowing bluish-green ball. All the way up to January 29th or something. The comet was discovered on August 17 last year by Australian amateur astronomer Terry Lovejoy. He spotted it in images taken by an 8-inch backyard telescope. Currently, it can be found looking in the right of Orion, about 2 hands width above the Seven Sisters. Please, star cluster. The comet's icy. You can check this out online. Look at it, but again, it's all to do with astronomy, and go check it out. And now one final story of the day. Okay, a policewoman dies in a Paris attack. So, a policewoman shot near Paris has reportedly died after a second attack on police in the French capital in consecutive days. The officer and another victim were fired on in Montreux on the southern edge of the city this morning. Paris police said that the second victim was a street cleaner. It came amid heightened tension across France after yesterday's massacre at the Charlie Hebdo satirical newspaper, in which 12 people, including 2 police officers, were killed. Paris police said it was too early to draw any connection between the attacks. Thank you guys for listening to the news here on the international front. See you guys next time. This has been TV Official. Make sure TV Hub Official 1. Sorry, I didn't say that right. The Hub Podcast, episode 5. See you next time in episode 6. Check out my other videos, obviously. Link to my channel below, or subscribe or check out the channel right there. Yeah, so favorite this video, like, comment, share, add to your favorites, whatever, watch later, and make sure to subscribe most importantly. Thank you guys, comment below, like and everything I said just there. See you next time, and enjoy.